Alizée Ndiaye. Ndiaye. It's actually beautiful as well.
Thank you.
Ndiaye.
It's very common in Senegal.
Cool. Here we go. We are locked in. Hello, people. Welcome to the Good Vibes Only podcast with me, your host, Shak, Mancel James, the world's waviest. I'm really happy. Hope you guys are happy as well. Hope you're in a very blessed mood. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had a good day if you're watching this late at night as well. Just a normal announcements before we start. Be sure to like and subscribe. Make sure you're supporting us on Instagram. That's gvo.entertainment UK. That's gv0.entertainment UK. Please support us on Cash App as well. That's GVO Entertainment UK. And yeah, we've still got an album out. It's still there. Sessions After Work. Shak, Mancel James and Elso. Go stream that stuff. Thank you very much. So I'm with another amazing guest. She is a multidisciplined creative. She's from France, but from via Senegal.
Yeah.
She is a really lovely friend of mine. Someone who I love dearly. I think you're such a beautiful person inside and out, and you guys are going to find out why. Everyone, welcome Alizée Ndiaye. Ndiaye.
It's fine.
Do you know what? I've practiced like 4 times.
I practiced for so long.
I've got it recorded as well. I'm gonna put it in there. Ndiaye.
It's okay.
So how are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you. Anyway, as we always start, we have our icebreaker questions. We have 2 questions that I ask everyone every time they come on. The first question is, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? I'm going to give you time to sit and think about that while I give you your second question, which is arguably a lot harder. If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would you listen to and why?
Okay. All right. One meal for the rest of my life. It will be a yassa, but you guys probably don't know about it. It's a Senegalese meal. It's a lot of onion and mustard with great chicken and rice and spicy. It's really good. Okay. Yeah, it will be yassa. I mean, it will be Senegalese food. Any of it. But yeah. And one musician. That's so hard as a question.
And it used to be album. We used to say it used to be one album, but now we're just trying to.
All right. Okay, one artist. It would be Ibrahim Malouf.
Who's that?
He's trumpetist jazz, and he did like maybe only 5 albums, but he's doing a lot of music for movies. But all his music are different stories, so I think I could listen to him all my life because every single song is a different emotion. Yeah.
I literally every week if I end up talking about music, I always talk about music that feels like you don't need words to kind of like still feel like a certain way or like feel like you're going through something or there's a narrative there. Yeah. So yeah, that's super dope as well. And you could kind of almost like soundtrack your life with just a nice little.
All the time, I'm in the train. I'm like, my life is a movie.
Yeah, I love that. So I wanted to get to know you as well because obviously we met at work. We worked in theatre together for a bit. You worked in the wardrobe department. You were the coolest person that we were working with at the time. Fact. But we never really got time to really get to know you as a person. Me and you at least anyway. So I was wondering about growing up. What were you like? What would you say you were like as a child in terms of like, I don't know, your personality? Would you? Because I know the person I know now, you're very strong. You stand up for what you believe in. Was that something that was ingrained in you from a child, or was it something that you kind of had to kind of find within yourself?
I think early child, like toddler, I was very quiet and everything. But as teenager, I grew up in a foster care, so I was already like, I always hate when it's not fair. So even teenager, I was very vocal on like, that shouldn't be like this. We should win like this because I like when stuff makes sense and fair. Yeah. So I think I've always been very vocal, but now I know when to talk. When I was teenager, I used to talk too much. Now I know when to talk and when not to talk.
Yeah. I think I'm like still trying to figure that side out now. Like, I think I've just got to the point where I'm like, oh, now I'll start talking. Now I've started to have to take a step back and go, okay, you're talking too much.
Should I not say that?
Yeah. I was going to ask you about moving to England. How old were you when you moved?
I was 24 and I'm 30 now. So I was
Okay, so you've been there for a while.
Yeah.
So how did you get to a point when you were like 24? You decided to make that move. Was it like a career move, or was it just you wanted a change of scenery, or?
I just wanted to move. I'm from a small place in France, Cannes, in south of France, with very racist, sexist, and homophobic, and I'm a black queer woman, so I knew that I couldn't stay there. But when I moved in London, my plan was to only stay 6 months. I just came to learn English, because when I moved in this country, I only knew, hello, my name is Lily, motherfuckers. That was literally the only word that I knew. So I came to learn English, and I fell in love. I'm a very beautiful person. We're not together anymore, but still love this person. And yeah, I stay, and then I start my creative journey, and 6 years later, I'm still here. So, but yeah, I just came to learn English, and then I had a partner for 1 year, so I was here. And then slowly I start my journey, and I'm still here.
And how did your creative journey start in terms of like what kind of medium did you first start kind of finding?
It started with DTMH, Don't Touch My Heritage, but at the beginning it's very funny. I used to have an afro, and I went to see a friend. She's a white friend from Argentina, and I was at the train station, and she touched my hair, which is something people do it here. So she touched my hair, and I saw this black guy look at me in the other platform, and I see something, and there was this other black person. I was like, wait, there is a real community here, especially that. Like, I had my awakening as black person pretty late, as a mixed race person. Anyway. But yeah, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna make t-shirt, don't touch my hair. And slowly I was just like, oh, maybe DTMH, don't touch my heritage. And this is where I start slowly to do some creative stuff. And then I was a stylist for a bit.
So DTMH, don't touch my heritage.
Yeah.
You just kind of spoke loosely about how that kind of came, how the kind of general idea came to be, but how did you kind of then put it into action? Was there like did you decide to make a team first, or was it like, oh, I'm just going to kind of wing it and see what kind of comes up and what works and what doesn't?
I think it was me in the beginning, and I was really, okay, let's see where it was. In the beginning, it was supposed to be a fashion brand, but I allowed DTMH to go where I wanted to go with not letting anybody put label on me. And I think now is really a creative platform for black people, because with people around me, I end up to be a bit in the industry, in some industries party. And I realized, I was like, wow, like black creative people don't help each other. And people in terms of networking always try to reach up. You should reach who is at your level to grow together. And I was keeping to see everybody like trying to touch this cloud and being like, and I was just like, how can I create this feeling of togetherness? Because all black people there is enough space for us to make the shit. That's the way we make culture, we do everything, but we keep to fighting each other. Maybe not fighting each other,
well, it's just we don't share it,
but we don't help each other.
We don't help each other, and we don't share around. I think your analogy of always reaching up as opposed to reaching sideways is so important, because I think it is that kind of ingrained idea from generations before us, where it's like you can't progress without going to the white man in order to progress. You're seeing it now. You're seeing the change happen. It's happening more and more now. But I think also just there's a element of Willie Lynch theory in there, in that there's that create division, and like we almost don't trust each other enough sometimes. So what would you say is your action plan for DTMH? What is your intention with this company, with this group?
Is mine, but I have to say is Daniel Bailey as well, which is my work partner. Is a work partner in English? How do you say?
Yeah, business partner.
My business partner. Yeah. But the plan is to have a building, a very big space. In it we can have a studio music, a coffee, a shop, a little cinema, a little theater, a place of creativity can be done, and is only open to black and brown creatives, because everybody, a creative, when you reach a certain level, you pay your membership in Soho House. You don't really go in Soho House to work. So I'm just like, how can we make a space or like black and brown people can do what they what they want. So that's the plan. The biggest dream of DTMH is to have a big hub and a big space for us. And I know it's doable because there is a place in Belgium doing it. In America, they do that a lot. So just need the money. The good, and as well, it's the same. Is that I don't want funding was coming from the Prince, the Royalty Foundation, for some people who try to pay less taxes and go give some charity. So it's where the money comes from. It has to come from the community. So we're trying to create our own money by creating a system of loan between creatives. So we all get together, everybody's putting money every month, for example, and someone in the group can take it out. But that is something I think Caribbean call that pardon. In Senegal we call that tontine, and it's something that our mothers and auntie been doing for years. We can do that as well between Black creatives.
Yeah, and I think it's something that a lot of other communities do as well. I know Asian communities do that. I know
all the diaspora is doing it.
It's weird that like we're not doing that right now.
We're here waiting for loan or for funding where we can literally fund ourselves. Like if you, for example, I mean it's coming, but if you're part of it, it's just like, okay, all right, well now, if you have £3,000 injected this time, which is not coming from your work, from your pay, it's like, then you can do like, for example, a whole weekend of podcast. Like it's just to say like, you'll be okay, I have this money now is injected and now I'm part of a community, because it's so lonely to be a business person. Is very lonely. So yeah, that's the plan.
I was wondering, in terms of your live shows, because I went to one of your, I think it was was it the first live show you did?
It was the first public one.
Yeah, our first public live show. Is that something that you guys intend to do forward, or was that just, well, my main question is, when did you decide that music would be going to come in as part of that? Well, you know, because I'm thinking it from a mindset of, you started it as a fashion brand and then it's developed into something bigger, and then you've decided to do the live show. Where was the motivation behind that, or was it just something that like you just surround? Because I know the kind of world you live in, you're around with a lot of creative people. Like even be it spending a bit of time at yours, it was just like, wow, I just feel like it was just like some sort of like bohemian heaven. I was like, there's just like creatives everywhere. Was it just a situation where it's like, you know, I have so many people around me, I want to give them somewhere to kind of be seen, or was it just
I think it's a mix of everything. It was just like I was trying to know how can I get everybody together. Then it was lockdown, so I was watching a lot of live music session as well. And I think that's the less activist stuff act for me. It's just very personal. I'm not a singer, but I love music, and if I could sing, I would do that. So I'm just like, yeah, and I have so many talented people around me. I was like, I can do that. And same coming back to what I was saying earlier, like every event I'm going is very flat. No, people doing great stuff in London, they try, but most of the time in London it's flat, and it's like there is no feeling of like togetherness, and let's do it. So this is what we're trying to do with the events. But music was really personal. I was just seeing so much talented artists and so much other people not giving them justice. That's like, that could be the vector of DTMH.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool, and it gave me well, firstly, it inspired me to I want to do something similar, and I definitely want to talk to you about it after off camera. But I think it felt like the first time UK, to my knowledge, had anything similar to like an NPR Tiny Desk, and I think it's something that has become quite a big thing within like our culture to go, oh look, this person's got a new, Toby Nigue's got one, or JID's got one, Ari Lennox has got one, and these are like things that people talk about, and I just saw the massive potential for it, and I thought it was great. And like you had like Lizzie Birchie was there, and
she's
JJ
amazing.
the Great, and it was so weird. Like I remember, I didn't know that I had one of her songs on my playlist because I've never seen this girl's face.
Because she's about to pop out.
And then like she's like, oh, here's a song, Pastime. I was like, I know this tune. And I was like, oh wait, I literally played this. I think I played it like maybe 20 minutes ago on the way in. I was like, so yeah, that was a really good experience. And like JJ the Great, shout out to JJ.
Yeah, JJ as well. He did the whole music for DTMH and he just gave it to me. But this is the artist as well that I'm proud to have with us, because there are people who understand. Like they're doing their own thing. Like Lizzie, she's on her way. She could literally look at a brand like DTMH and be like, I don't have your time. Yeah. But she just like, they just went together and they trust the process, and they did the rehearsals in my house, and they were just on board. So I really love each of the people who ou performe for the team, j'étais great.
Yeah. How did it feel to be able to collaborate with so many different creatives? Like, I just imagine that must be such a. No, I guess there's probably difficulties in it, but just like really exciting.
It's exciting, and as creative, it's hard to validate your own work. It's hard to be like, oh, what I'm doing is great. But when you're working with great people, then you can be like, oh, obviously you can have the imposter syndrome or kick you sometimes and just like, why I'm here. And that happens often. But you can also be like, okay, if I'm here with all these people, maybe that means I belong here too, and that's great.
Yeah, and I think it's just knowing what you offer as well. Like being in, I think my thing that recently I've been kind of trying to figure out is what my perfect thing is, and I had to like go back and think about like what I did as a kid, and like because I think I was saying literally last conversation I had with someone, you kind of end up leaving drama school quite pigeonholed in your thinking. You think you're just a theatre performer, that's all you do, and like I had to go back and remember that I produced a show like just by myself with some friends. Like it was an organisation, but it was literally pretty much my job, and I made sure it was done. We sold out a little shitty theatre, but it was like 16-year-olds to 21-year-olds, and we did that. I was 18 years old, and I think I don't know. I think it's I think it's finding out what you can bring to something, even if you're not in a space where it's like for me, like sometimes I feel a bit weird around like when I'm around singers, like proper good singers. I've always had that kind of imposter syndrome. Like fucking now, like I'm around these incredible people. Am I good enough?
Like, how do you bring? And as creative, your ego is your best friend and your best enemy. So how do I put my ego? Like I can, like for example, I mute all the people that are not close of mine and doing the same job than I. Because I know that if they're on my Instagram, if I'm in a low month, if I didn't have been booked the way I wanted to be booked, I'm able to compare myself. So ego work is really hard when you're creative, I think. It's the most struggling. But
it's an interesting thought, I think. Well, just what you just saying like about muting people, I've never even thought about.
You need to protect your mental health. Like you will always have people who do better than you. Like for example, I can hear sometimes my partner like not comparing myself, but seeing someone who's booking job. But then I always bring her back. There is someone else who looking at your Instagram and be like, this bitch always booking jobs. Every year she's with 2 projects. And there is someone else who dream to be at drama school. So there is always someone who want to do what you do, and there is always someone who's doing better.
It's the way you channel it. It's the way you channel it. And I think when I was younger, it was definitely like I used to love being around people that I thought was like better than me, because it was like, okay, cool. And like I think I just had this drive and need to be better than everyone anyway. I think as I've got to like an age where I'm like, oh, well, I don't really care too much about like, for example, theatre anymore. In terms of the wide scheme of things, I'm like, it's weird now. I don't know how I feel like I know what I'm good at. So when I'm not in a place where my strengths aren't as strong as other people's, I'm like, oh gosh. I think it's just trying to figure out. I think for me, I'm like, I know I'm good at bringing people together. Like so, like, I've been trying to just keep people around each other as much as possible. And like trying to spread that around even bigger to like my family, trying to be around them more now.
And even theatre, I remember you from a word like you are very talented. Even when you step out of theatre, you still stepping up with your talents. But this word, and because I don't from this word, I only discovered theatre last year because my partner took me to see Anne Juliet, and I was like, I want to see what's happening backstage. And I realized it's a word for black performer. It is not, your brain can't cope with what it's asking to you. It's been asked to don't be black. It's literally asking you, do not bring anything except the talent who's going with your blackness. All the rest is about you, we don't care. Your hair, your culture, your skin, we don't care. And so when you inside their world, because I feel black people are so much talented. And then you put them in a white world, you have to put the talent down, because otherwise white people on stage will be outstanding all the time, and it's still a white word theatre. So also I think like, if you're black in theatre, you need to make sure to keep your voice and do what you have. Don't let them put you down, because
you're right. I think like that's one thing I've been saying is like you have to find something else that you can feel fulfilled in creatively, and it will help you get through like just working in that kind of that environment is very demanding. It's very unforgiving, I think personally, and that's not to shit on it. It's a business, and it definitely ran like a business. So fair play, whatever. That's all power to the people that run it that way. But I feel like for your individual betterment, you can find things that you can enjoy and contribute and make your contribution to the world, instead of like spending your whole life trying to build up companies that you're never going to really have any ownership of or really have any kind of impact with being associated to, like really like what is your legacy going to be. So I think, yeah, my plan is to keep doing what I can do to make money, freelance as much as I can, whilst protecting this brand and trying to bring as many people in as possible and try and make this a really big thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully to the point where I don't need to do anything else anymore. I can just focus on this, you know.
When, not hopefully, power.
Yeah. Well,
power of the world, sorry. When you will not have to do anything else.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I learned the power of the word this week. Let me talking about my life. No, listen. This week I wrote on my journal for the first time. I want to be paid to work somewhere else. I want someone to pay for my flight.
Mm-hmm.
And the day after that, the movie that I work on has been selected to a festival, and they say, "Oh, we're gonna pay you, and we're gonna like pay for accommodation."
Yeah.
So power of the word.
Power of the word. I might have to get into that.
Just start to write it every day.
See, it's the incense. You got the incense blowing.
Just sweet.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm really happy that we've sat down and spoke. I really want to just point out right now, I really enjoy having conversations with people that kind of give you time to process things yourself as well. I think you're a really good listener as well as a interviewee to have on. I'd love to see if I can put you somewhere else on this channel as well. That'd be great.
If you don't understand my accent, everybody, I'm sorry. I
Do you know what?
to talk slow.
Do you know how? No, I was literally thinking. Like, I know she's trying to be real, but you don't need. No, your accent is so beautiful, and if you don't get it, you're never gonna get it. And you know what? You don't even deserve to listen to the podcast. Then
yeah,
it's simple as that. That's how we're gonna do it now. But yeah, thank you, Alizée, Lily. I really want to keep in touch with you for sure. I think like we've been trying to get this done for a while. Mainly my fault because I've been trying to sort out my life.
My fault too.
Yeah, but well, you know, a bit of both of us, but I think it's mainly me. But I really want to keep in touch with you. I'm gonna talk to you about this thing I want to do as
definitely.
well. And just keep doing your thing. What would you say is your, if you would say, okay, we're talking about power of the word, what kind of 3 things would you want going forward? Like, say, in the next 5 years, if these 3 things happen, they don't have to be big. In the next 5 years, if you say, oh, we've done this.
Okay, in the next 5 years, this building, like really having a space, being able to connect this space back home for me in Senegal, and trying to connect a bit more like black creatives here, which is a privilege, to other black creatives up there. And I would like to involve more DTMH in charities work, because I'm a social worker for my degree, and I'm trying slowly to bring it to like, how can we do activist stuff, like for real, and how we can bring back to the community up there. So yeah, that's the plan. That's
amazing, and that's the perfect way to end this off. Perfect, Chair. The camera's just shut off, which means it's being rude to me. So thank you very much for watching, guys. We appreciate everything, all the support so far. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to put all the information for Alizée. I'm going to put the DTMH website. Do you have a website yet?
It's building, but it's there.
Building. Oh, I'm going to put the Instagram down. I'm also going to give is it Land of the Dogs?
The Palace of the Dogs. And we have a shop in Peckham Ray, so come to see us.
Yeah, I'm going to put all that information down in the description below so everyone can just go to that. Please come and support these guys. They're doing some really great work. So thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, no matter what you say, it's GVO all day.